Hi guys, Andrew here, back again with another top 5 list, looking at the top 5 cards that were good in DMP, but were surprisingly not so good in the TCG. Starting off with number 5, we have Pinsir Scarab. Now this one's a bit odd, since Pinsir Scarab isn't necessarily bad in the TCG, but just kind of slid under everyone's radar a little. Until in DMP, he came out in full force with a deck which we now know as Lost Soul Pinsir Scarab Beatdown. This deck has even won a few IDCs in the past. Now what really sells him is his crazy power to mana ratio, coming down as early as turn 3, where he's usually a 9k double breaker. Sometimes he can truly win games all by himself. At number 4, we have good old Alcadeus. We all wanted Alcadeus to be good in the TCG, but alas, the main thing holding him back was the lack of viable angel commands. At best, you've got Valkyrie and Ares, which at 5 mana just doesn't quite work out. DMP solves that problem entirely with the introduction of Picari, a 4 mana angel command that also draws you a card. Picari almost single-handedly made Alcadeus 100 times more playable, and Alcadeus did end up making some top tier lists, mostly as a 1 or 2 of splashed with 4 Picari. Coming in at number 3, we have Miraculous Plague. Now this one's even more surprising since Miraculous Plague in the TCG cost 1 less than its counterpart in DMP. Now I will say that Plague is still quite a decent card in the TCG, although definitely underutilized. Nevertheless, I think it was the lack of Archon which really hurt the card. The inferior version that we got in Marinomancer just didn't quite do the job. At number 2, we have Illusionary Merfolk. We couldn't believe our eyes, and especially Jason, that Illusionary Merfolk was suddenly being played in mid-range decks. Those were definitely the days. But this was due to the existence of Pickletan, a 4 mana Aqua Hocus. And it really was Pickletan and Picari during the early days of DMP that really brought new life into these previously unplayable cards. But suddenly you could curve Pickletan directly into Illusionary Merfolk, which netted you a huge advantage, which was exactly what mid-range decks needed. Finally, number 1, we have good old Snip Striker Ballraiser. This unassuming little guy packs quite the punch. At 2 mana 3k, he can get over common 2k creatures, and more importantly, he trades with blockers like Sarius and Hunterfish. It was super interesting to see this card, which literally I remember were in people's junk piles back in the day, to be so dominant in DMP with the Waterfire and also later light beatdown lists. His drawback is hardly a drawback since you're usually the aggressor, so you're always playing down creatures, and not to mention that he can still attack when there's an equal number of creatures between you and your opponent. This guy would sometimes break 2 to 3 shields all by himself. And the success of Snip Striker still kind of puzzles me to this day, just why he wasn't tried more in brush/mid-range decks in the TCG. There we have it. We've reached the end of another list. What do you guys think? Have we missed any major ones? What would your list have? If you enjoy this type of content, please do let us know in the comments. And as always, stay safe and we'll see you guys next time.